It is time to crown a champion. One event remains at the 2022 Rogue Invitational, the Stones Over the Hitching Post, a repeat from the final event from 2021. Glad you're with us, everybody, here at the Dell Diamond Stadium in Round Rock, Texas. I'm Sean Woodland with Lauren Chalet, and we have 5 stones that are standing between Oleksii Novikov and a possible championship here at the Rogue Invitational.
5 stones is all that's separating these athletes now from completing one of the most brutal and intense competitions we've had of 2022. Oleksii Novikov leading the competition, the chasing pack still fighting hard, and we've got some fantastic stone lifters this year.
Let's talk about the keys to this event and what it's going to take to be successful.
So obviously it's always the normal keys: strong back, strong legs, strong arms. But the important point that we need now is who is in the fighting for the big positions, who wants it the most, who can figure out these stones. It's not the same as Atlas stones. They've got to kind of make sure they get the right feel for the stones. We know from last year only 3 men have managed to finish this set of 5 stones. So anyone finishing all 5, they know they're in for big points this year. Martins Licis, the fastest man to do all 5 in a time of 23:53. He's in the chasing pack, picked up a couple of injuries, but he's still a dangerous animal, and I wouldn't count him out just yet.
Let's go down to Kiki Dixon with more on the stones that are being used for this event.
The stones that we have here tonight are a tribute to the Inver stone located in Scotland. It's one of the most well-known lifting stones in the world. The stones here tonight mimic that oval shape, and they're also made out of natural stones. They were first used in 2020 at the Arnold Strongman Classic, and then we saw them last year in 2021. So the guys that were here last year have already had a go with them, but we'll see how everybody else fares here shortly.
Thank you, Kiki. Here are your overall standings as we head into the Stones Over Hitching Post presented by GoRuck. Oleksii Novikov is on the verge of winning his first ever Rogue Invitational Championship. He leads Trey Mitchell by 3.5 points. Martins Licis has some work to do trying to repeat as champion. He is 7 points back in Novikov, so Licis is going to have to duplicate the performance he got last year and get some help in the process.
Yeah, Martins is going to take a miracle really at this stage for him to win the title, but he could still be a big factor because Trey Mitchell is not too far away from Oleksii. And Oleksii and Trey have history when it comes to stone lifting.
Kevin Ferris is up first, and he has cleared the 275-pound stone. No problem with the 300-pound stone, and now 365 pounds.
Kevin is going through these first early stones nice and quickly.
He will step up to the 400-pound stone.
This is when it starts to get challenging. This is an important stone. If he can get this one over, he's going to be feeling good about himself. And he's done it. This is really good by Kevin. He's not had the best performance this weekend, but this is very solid. Last year, only 3 men could lift all 5 stones. He's already onto the 240-pound stone, showing us all what he's capable of. Getting the crowd involved now. If he can lift this stone, they are going to go crazy.
420 pounds between Kevin Ferris and clearing this event.
Come on, Kevin, show us what you can do.
Trying to get a good grip on it.
And that's the thing, it's not like Atlas stones where they can use the tacky to stick to the stone. They've got to really find the best position to grip, get right under that stone, pull it up to their lap, make adjustments, twist the stone. You'll see someone like Licis. He really figures the stone out. He'll look at it, he'll turn it, he'll find the best position for his hands. Kevin just using that tacky towel there. It really doesn't do much, the tacky towel. Normally they're allowed to put the pine resin on their arms, on their hands, and it sticks them to the stone. This is just really giving them a little bit of tack on the hands just to try and get some kind of purchase.
Ferris is running out of time here before we hit the 2-minute time count.
He really flew through the first few, but this last 420-pound stone is a beast.
Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get this thing to go, but a great effort for Kevin Ferris as he closes out his 2022 Rogue Invitational.
There's a solid time on 4 there. We'll get the official time as soon as we can. When you compare that to last year, that wasn't a bad run at all.
And now the equipment team will come out, and it will take multiple men to move those stones back into position to reset for Eyþór Melstad, who will be the next man up.
So if we go back to 2021's Rogue Invitational, only 5 athletes managed to do 4 stones. So that's a solid performance there from a guy who hasn't had the best weekend. He's not been feeling great. He's had some stomach issues. He's finishing this competition strong.
Kevin Ferris hoping for his best event finish of the competition. So far that has been in 8th place. He's done that twice in the Tower of Power and the Husafell sandbag carry and got off to a great start.
Yeah, look how fast he is through these first 3 stones, just throwing them over, no trouble at all. Easy second stone there. And this 4th stone was big points for athletes last year, so it's a really solid performance. And it's always tough having to go out there first.
And Ferris took his time getting ready for the 420-pound stone and just wasn't able to budget. But 4 of the 5, a very solid result for Kevin Ferris. Stones are moved back into position. Eyþór Melstad will be up next.
And Eyþór's an athlete that's used to lifting natural stones. In Iceland, it's a big thing doing stone lifting. See how he does with these.
Also the 9th place overall. His best finish was 5th in the Searbell ladder. Melstad took 9th earlier in the year at the World's Strongest Man.
Two minutes to complete all 5 stones.
We are about ready for Eyþór Melstad. £275 on that opening stone, and that will not be a problem for Melstad, and now he moves up to 300.
Good with the 300 there, nice and efficient.
365 pounds. This is the biggest jump you make on this ladder.
That's a huge jump. It will throw a few athletes off, but these guys are flying through these first 3 this year.
400 pounds from Melstad. He gets it to his lap, and that is up and over. Now to the 420-pound stone.
Come on, Eyþór, let's get this up to your lap. This is good.
Trying to wrestle it up there, almost had it.
One of the issues with this 420 is it's so much bigger than the rest, and just getting that stone up over onto your lap is just so much more challenging. It's not just the weight, it's the size of the stone as well.
Fans here at Dell Diamond Stadium trying to get behind Eyþór as he makes a run again at the 420-pound stone, and now
it's close. Can he sit back with it?
He's able to get it to his lap.
He can do this now. He needs to get those hands over the top, drive through with the hips.
And Melstad will clear it.
There we go. Only the 4th man to lift all 5 stones.
106.43 for Melstad, and what a great finish to his competition.
Finishing strong. Great performance there from Eyþór.
That first attempt at 420 was so close to getting into his lap and was able to correct that. He goes up and over to clear it.
It's always impressive when you fail and then you can come back and get it that second attempt. Very, very good performance there from Eyþór.
Rogue equipment crew is out there moving the stones back into place.
And what an amazing job they've done all weekend.
It's been fantastic. The crew here and the volunteers do just a phenomenal job of keeping this entire thing running on time. All the equipment changes, all the stuff that needs to be built, brought on and off the field. Here's Athor Melsted's attempt and got through the first three, no problem.
This second one, 300 pounds here, really fast and efficient there. 365, big jump up on this one was no problem for Athor.
Then gets to the 420-pound stone, and that first attempt was so close to getting into a position where he could roll it into his lap.
We'll have to see how much that will cost him overall at the end, but to do all five, extremely impressive.
Then, as you said, very impressive to miss the first one and then make the second one on that final stone.
Really great lifting there. See what it means to him. Even though these athletes aren't battling for the podium, they still want to prove that they are elite level, the best in the world.
And Maxime Boudreau did that in the last event. He finished second in the yoke carry overhead log lift medley, and that was the result that he was looking for here in this competition.
Yeah, much more what we expected from Maxime, and I've got to say, Maxime's a fantastic stone lifter. He could very well score some big points on this one as well and push himself up that leaderboard.
He got off to a slow start on Friday. He didn't get a single rep on the Tower of Power. Then a solid performance, 6th place in the Sear Bell ladder, but then another 10th in event 3. And you mentioned it earlier, I think that really affected his confidence.
Yeah, it really did. Today was always his day in terms of the competition. Didn't start the way he wanted, but he's getting stronger as the day goes on, and this could potentially be a fantastic one for him. Let's see how he does with the natural stones. Atlas stones, I could tell you exactly how he's going to do, but these are a little bit more challenging, but I'm expecting big things. He's normally a very, very good stone lifter. And I just think having that good performance earlier, his confidence is up now. He feels like, you know, when you have all those bad events, that confidence drops, and you do need that pick-me-up sometimes. He wants to finish this show strong, try and push himself up the leaderboard, and he could well do that with a top 2, top 3 finish on this event.
20 total points. He trails Rob Kearney for 7th by 3 points. And Bobby Thompson for 6th by 6.5. Ripping through that 275.
Look at that one motion.
300 is no problem. Now on to 365.
This is going fast. Less than 15 seconds at the moment. He's already onto the 4th. Just a little slip there. Needs to make sure he gets it up to his lap. Doesn't want to be fighting too hard with this 4th stone.
400 is up and over, and now he will take his time as he approaches the 420-pound stone.
So he's got plenty of time to be Athor, but he needs to not mess around. He knows there's some great stone lifters coming. And this is good, already up to the lap. This is going over.
And up and over for Maxime Boudreau, 35.29 seconds.
Great time there by Maxime. And the important factor is going to be people like Maxime potentially getting between Trey and Novikov. Novikov last year wasn't able to do all 5. That doesn't mean he won't do it this year, but based on last year's performance, not his favorite event. Trey is a good stone lifter. Anything can still happen.
Great effort from Maxime Boudreau, who now for the 2nd straight event has really shown what he is capable of.
And the more athletes that do all 5, the more pressure is going to build for those top few athletes.
And that will give way now to Rob Kearney, who will be the next man out, as 7 men have yet to lift. Maxime Boudreau made that thing look like an empty med ball.
He's so fast through these first few.
No problem with the 300. 365 was pretty easy. Little slip to begin with on 400. But then made his first and only attempt count at 420. Maxime Boudreau has the top time with 7 men left. 35.29.
So Rob Kearney's our next athlete. Rob finished 4th on this event last year. Already, we've had 2 athletes do 5, and only 3 athletes managed to do 5 last year. Rob was the fastest to do 4.
Kearney's best finish came on day 1, a 4th in the Sear Bell ladder. But he finished 10th in the Rogue coaster poll. And that is what knocked him farther down the leaderboard and put a spot inside the top 5, maybe out of reach, but it's still possible if he has a incredible performance here.
Just getting himself ready for this one. Again, another athlete that wants to finish strong. Three and a half points behind Bobby Thompson currently. Bobby will be up next.
Time to have some fun. Time to have some fun.
Rob Kearney chopping it up with the fans a little bit before he gets started. Kearney's had a pretty decent year of competition. Last time, Laz, you and I got to saw him compete. He had that great opening day at the Arnold Strongman Classic. Was the overall leader at one point. Wound up finishing 5th in that event.
That first day at the Arnolds, he was unbelievable. He's one of those athletes that really does have some incredible strengths, just has some weaknesses as well. Doesn't have that consistency of the likes of Novikov and Martins. That's the exciting thing with strongman. Every competition, the events change. So the favorites change, the potential challenges change, but it's those guys that can consistently keep performing well that are constantly on podiums.
35.29 seconds is the time to beat. Kearney up to 275. That was easy. 300 is up and over, now to 365 pounds.
Moving really well through these first 2. 365 goes over, no problem.
This is as far as Kearney got in the event last year. He cleared the 400-pound stone, was unable to get 420 up and over.
Come on, Rob. He lifted this stone last year. He knows he's capable. Needs to really clamp his hands under that stone. Get it up to his lap. Once he's up to his lap.
Oh, almost had
so
it.
close. Come on, Rob. Still got a minute to go. He's got time.
3rd attempt for Kearney here at 420.
He's just got to get it over those knees.
Can't keep a grip on it.
He's going to call it there.
Rob Kearney unable to match his score from last year. There's 3 of the 5 stones.
It shows how impressive our 2 athletes that have completed it already have been. 5 stones, it's no joke. Let's remind ourselves, Rob placed 4th on this event last year.
He's one of the 3 men in the field this year who did this event last year. Novikov and Licis, the other 2. As Bobby Thompson will now get ready for his attempt. One more look at Rob Kearney as he was able to get through 3 of those 5 stones.
Again, the first few stones causing no issues at all. It's just as those stones increase in size. Rob not the longest in the arm span, arm length. compared to some of our other athletes. Just struggling to get under that stone, around that stone to get it onto his lap. I'm sure if he got it onto his lap, he would have loaded it over, no problem.
He had the height. He just, like you said, could not find the grip to turn it over and get it into that position. Made 3 attempts at it and was unable to get it up and over. And that's how close he got it. Again, it looked like he had the height, but couldn't find the grip. And Rob Kearney will.
Bobby Thompson is just checking out all these stones individually, making sure they're dry, checking his hand positioning. That's smart. That's the kind of thing you'd see Brian Shaw doing, going and looking at every single stone, making sure they're exactly where he wants them to be. Now, Bobby, not known as the greatest stone lifter in the world, so this is showing some smarts. He's trying to make sure everything's as dry as possible. Stones have not been his friend, but Bobby put in a big performance on the stones at the Arnold's this year. He managed to get that natural stone up to his shoulder. He'll want to prove he's been working on these, making the progress on the weaker events as well as his strengths. 35:29 is the time to beat.
Maxime Boudreau set that top time early on in the last event as well, and it survived until Mitch Hooper got his hands on the yoke and the log, but it wound up being good enough for second place. And here he is again, Boudreau, with the top time on the board. Bobby Thompson so far, his best finish also came in the last event. No shock there. It involved the log press. He took third with a time of 54.09 seconds on that 50-foot, 1,000-pound yoke carry, and then the 3 presses at 360 pounds.
And Bobby's had some great performances. Third at the Arnold's this year. Exceptionally strong man. Stones are the one event that have cost him in many competitions. Let's see how he does here. He's an athlete that suffered a fair few bicep tears, which does hamper this type of event.
Here goes Bobby Thompson. 275 up first.
No problem. Making sure he clamps on. He's not rushing, just making sure that hand positioning is correct. Nicely clamped in. Good lifting on those first 2.
Out of 365.
Adjust the hands, right through the hips. Ooh.
We want to talk about some missed attempts being more costly than others. That is a ton of effort.
A lot of effort going in there. That's, yeah. If you kind of just get it up off the floor and you drop it, it's not the end of the world. But when you put that much effort into almost getting it over, now it's like he's got to lift 6 stones if he wants to do all of these.
Gets it back to his lap. Second attempt at 365.
He's just struggling a little with the grip. The stone is slipping as he's trying to drive those hips through and roll that stone up his body. And now he looks like he's suffering a little bit with cramp. Long 2 days of competition. He's an athlete that carries a huge amount of muscle. I think he is just cramping there.
You can see just the raw marks on his forearms. And
these stones are going to mess up your forearms. They're going to be cut up, scarred. They're quite rough, these stones as well. They're not that smooth. They're going to really be sharp, digging into those forearms.
Thompson's going to keep going at this thing. 30 seconds left.
Bobby Thompson's an absolute warrior. I've never seen this guy quit. He gives 100% every time he competes.
Turns the stone to try to get a better grip, and got close.
Cramping badly there. I think he's feeling it in the stomach, the back. Once it starts to go, it's a horrible feeling once again. But he's put in a solid performance this weekend.
Pavlo Nakonechny will be the next man up. And he has been at different ends
he's been like a yo-yo
of the results. A first, a ninth, a third, and a second. He really started to gain some momentum, but in the last event, he finished dead last 10th.
Yeah, I mean, first, second, and third on 3 events, but then the 9th and 10th costing him dearly. This is an athlete with such huge potential. He's still so new, so raw. He's been, you know, the mistakes have been there, and that's what we expected from him. But when he gets it right, he is unbelievable. And again, he's built well for this type of event. He's a good stone lifter, long arms, strong back, solid grip. This could be a good one.
5th place overall is Pavlo Nakonechny with 30 points, and he trails Mitch Hooper by 4.5. And Martins Licis. Hooper and Licis tied in points at 34.5. One more look at the American Nightmare, Bobby Thompson, who got through the first 2 stones with little trouble.
Yeah, these first 2 weren't a problem at all.
But then there's such a big jump between the 3rd and 4th, 65 pounds. And got really close.
So this was good, up to the lap. Look how close that was.
If he just could have gotten under it when it was on the post, it goes over. And then
yeah, maybe just keep himself pushed against the stone and then force it over.
That was a hell of an effort for Bobby Thompson. And used all the time available to him and was even cramping up and kept fighting.
So, Pavlo Nakonechny. As he said, he's been up and down in this competition. Needs to finish strong. Long arms. He's got the height as well to get over that hitching post.
When you see an athlete who clearly has this much raw talent and potential, where'd you start with him if you had to coach him?
He's got all the power. He doesn't need to get stronger. He needs to get technically more efficient. And I think sometimes athletes just get carried away with wanting to get bigger and stronger. But he's already the strongest guy here.
Yeah.
He's just not the best athlete. And that's sometimes where you need to look at as a coach, as an athlete. I'm competing in a sport. The sport doesn't just require that brute strength. There's other elements, and that's just the little areas he needs to work on, but he has. Like I said, he's the youngest athlete competing. A little bit more work, he is going to be a real contender.
Here goes Nakonechny.
And that just flung that over the bar.
300's no problem. Now to the 365-pound stone. Scoops
And
that
he
right
is
up.
just manhandling these stones. 400 pounds now.
400 slipping a little bit, but he's able to save it.
Just that inexperience. I think once he gets a little more practice, he's going to be crazily good.
If he hurries, he's got a chance.
He can do this. He just needs to focus on getting it to his lap, not rushing. I think he's kind of panicking about the time. He's got so much raw power. Get your hands under, be smooth, transition.
Boudreau's time is going to stand.
Now he's kind of like crouching down there. I don't know what he's doing here.
Trying to find a grip on that 420-pound stone.
Ideally, he needs to get the hips a little bit higher, clamp down on that stone, and then kind of use those hamstrings and glutes to lift the stone over the knees. Readjust once it's on the knees, and then drive through with the hips and roll that stone up his body. He can do this. He's got everything needed to do it.
But you can see, even from an untrained eye, where he's just trying to rely on raw power here.
Yeah. Like I said, it's scary how good he is already. With some work, the other athletes are going to be worried about this man. Here we go, look at this.
Nakonechny has it to the
Get those
left.
hands over. And drive. Oh, he's just losing his grip. He doesn't know where to put his hands. He needs to go around the side a little bit more. That's better. Just losing it.
Nakonechny not
Can't
able
quite
to
hold
fight
on.
through it. Just look how red his left arm is after that fight.
A great effort. He's a young, talented athlete. Look at those forearms scarred up from that stone. Got a war with it. Great performance there again. 4 stones. But like I said, give this guy another year, he is going to be a contender. Look at the muscle on that back.
Like I said, you can show a movie on that thing at your local drive-in. As a large human being.
I got to say, his performance on the deadlift, one of the most impressive things I've seen all weekend.
He started off fast at Pavlo Nakonechny, just tearing through these first couple of stones.
Look how many little movements there are. When you watch the really well-trained athletes, they just transition, they make sure their hands are straight into the correct place. His hands are all over the place. He's wasting energy with every little step, and yet still performing so well. I'm excited to see what he does with a bit more training.
And then he got to 420, and it really just looked like he was wrestling this thing.
Yeah. And it's that energy being used up, every single bit of effort he's putting in.
You hear it a lot, work smarter, not harder.
That's the case for this man. He's more than capable of winning these shows. He's got so much strength. The muscle is there. He doesn't need to worry about putting on size, getting stronger. He needs to focus on getting better. A lot of people don't understand that concept when it comes to strongman, but it is a sport. It's not just about being a brute.
Here is Martins Licis, who won this event last year, the only event he won, and route to winning the entire competition to be crowned the 2021 Rogue Invitational champion. 34.5 points coming in. He already has won an event. That was the Rogue Coaster pull earlier today. He's got to make up 7 points on Oleksii Novikov.
It's going to be an extremely hard task. He just needs to focus on putting a good run together. Carrying an injury in his hip. We know how good he is at these stones. He was first place on these last year. He's capable of doing this in sub 30 seconds, no problem. And he's an athlete that does think about technique, very well trained. He'll just be focusing on smooth run, focus on one stone at a time, and all he can do is just apply pressure to the next 3 athletes. I'm sure in his head he's focused on beating Maxime Boudreau's time. That's all he can focus on. And then it's let the other athletes do what they can do.
Martins Licis. Can he do it for the 2nd straight year? 275 is up and over. 300, no problem. Now to the 365-pound stone.
Look how he makes sure every single time the hands go in the correct place. Every rep the same. Clamps onto the stone, up to the lap.
Out to the 400-pound
slightly
stone.
on the 400 there. Oh, and he's pulled something, I think, in his pec.
Martins looks like he's going to be
Not
done.
been his performance this year. Last year he was incredible. He had that great performance on the roller coaster first thing this morning. Very solid performance day 1. But day 2 has fallen apart a little bit for him. His body's struggling with these events. I know he's had a few injuries this year. He's putting on a brave face, big smile. He loves the crowd. It'd be hurting him inside not being able to perform at his best. You can see he's holding back the emotion there. An incredible champion, someone that's won every major title there is to win in the sport. He wants to win multiple major titles. We know he'll be back. An incredible champion, just not his year this year.
Thanking the crowd for their support. They are big fans of Martins Licis.
He's one of the most popular athletes on the circuit.
And will not repeat as champion here. As we now have 2 men left. 2 men battling for the top spot in the overall standings, and Trey Mitchell and Oleksii Novikov.
We've got Mitch Hooper as well. Still to
Mitch
come.
Hooper, that's right, he is still to go. There are 3 men remaining, and Hooper can be a factor here as well. 34.5 points like Martins Licis. So if Hooper can come up with a solid performance here, he can put some pressure on Mitchell and Novikov.
Yeah, he can indeed.
Martins Licis embracing Oleksii Novikov. Class move from Novikov. Take a look back at Licis. He got off to a great start on those first 2 stones.
No problem with those first 2. Even the 3rd one, no problem. I think on this fourth one, he was experiencing some kind of cramp or a pull in the pec area. They're trying to squeeze hard into those stones, just grabbing at his chest area there. Pretty sure, hopefully just cramp and nothing more.
There's nothing worse for a competitor with the heart like Martins Licis when the body just isn't willing to cooperate.
Strongman is so brutal and it catches up with all of us. I mean, he's a smart athlete, spends a lot of time on rehab, but when you are lifting these types of weights, injuries just occur, and it's a brutal sport.
There is Mitch Hooper, who has won 2 of the last 3 events. He's the only man in the competition with 2 event wins under his belt. But the other finishes are what are keeping him from being inside the top 2 right now, and that's a 5th, an 8th, and a 5th.
Mitch needs to focus on just a good performance. If he can do all 5 stones here, he can walk away extremely proud of his performance. First time at the Rogue Invitational, won 2 events. He's had an amazing debut year. And I think a solid performance here will seal him another podium finish.
If he can get past the 400-pound stone, he will automatically pick up points on Martins Licis and at least move himself into 3rd.
Yeah, there's still a chance of a higher place. It's a slim chance, especially with how good Trey Mitchell is at stone lifting. But anything can happen. But he still needs to focus on just performing first.
Mitch Hooper is ready to go. So far, just 2 men have lifted all 5 stones. It's Maxime Boudreau, who has a top time of 35.29, and Aithor Melstead at 106.43.
It's kind of funny. They were 2 of the first 3 athletes to go. We thought loads of athletes were going to end up doing all 5, but it hasn't turned out that way. It just shows they were impressive on this event. Here goes Mitch. Easy first stone. The first few shouldn't be a problem. It's that 4th one that is challenging these athletes.
300 is up and over. Now the 65-pound jump to 365.
That's good.
That is over. Now the 400 pounds.
Up to the knees, no problem. And that secures him 3rd place. And he's going straight down onto this 420. Straight up to these. This could be quick.
Mitch Hooper could be
sub 30
new
can get this
leader
over.
And
there we go.
It.
Mitch Hooper finishing strong. Sub 30 seconds. Takes 1st place currently in this event. Does all 5 stones.
And now things are getting interesting because Mitch Hooper with that, as you said, Laz, your new event leader. And
he's put
Trey
the pressure.
Mitchell and Oleksii Novikov can't just mail this one in now.
He's applied the pressure. It's actually useful to Trey that he's done all 5. But Trey now needs to beat that time if he wants a chance of winning this overall.
Maxime Boudreau congratulating his countrymen.
1 and 2 currently, I think, in this event from Canada.
Now 2 men remain. Trey Mitchell, who trails Oleksii Novikov by 3.5 points. And you would have to beat Novikov by 4 spots to overtake him.
And these 2 have been so consistent. The lowest placing Trey Mitchell has had all weekend, 5th place. The lowest placing Oleksii Novikov has had all weekend, 4th place. They are showing that consistency that is so important to win these competitions. Trey Mitchell hasn't even won an event, but he's within contention. Here's Mitch's run. Very, very good. First time on these stones. Moving nicely, clamping down on each stone. Gets his arms over the top. He's got long arms. Manages to get it onto the lap much more comfortably than some of the other athletes.
And it's incredible to think that this guy used to run marathons.
It really is. marathons and play golf. He's messing around with different balls these days.
I want to know how far he can hit a driver.
That's something we'll have to get him doing. So, Trey Mitchell, I've got to say Trey has impressed me. I really had Trey kind of fighting for fourth, maybe third place. He has proven me wrong. He's been here to fight for the title, and he's going to give everything on these to try and make it happen. He's really stepped up the last couple of years. He's had, you know, he's one of those guys you look at and you think, yeah, Trey's a good athlete. But the last year or so, he really stepped out. And now he is, in any competition he goes to, a serious contender. Puts the work in. He's a quiet, humble man. Focuses hard on his training, and it's just been paying off. And it's so good to see.
Trey Mitchell is just thinking about getting through all 5 of these stones to keep the pressure on Oleksii Novikov, because, as you mentioned, Novikov was unable to clear this ladder last year.
That's true, and these two have history on stones. At World's Strongest Man a few years back, they were in the same group, and it came down to a stone off. Oleksii was well ahead in terms of points, but it was about who won the stones, and Trey beat Oleksii on those stones. Wonder if that kind of thought will be in his head, knowing that stones have kind of caused him problems in the past. There's been events where Novikov has been in a good lead and the stones have cost him. So he'll be still nervous. He's in a great position, but he'll still feel the nerves. And Trey has to just apply that pressure. If Trey can beat Mitch's time, then Oleksii has to make sure he does all 5 if he wants to win this title. $3.5 point deficit to make up.
And Trey, one of the few athletes who could just drive to this competition. He only is from 5 hours away from here in Lumberton, Texas.
Yeah, lots of support here for Trey.
Love to win this competition in his home state. And he has a chance.
Let's see what he can do. He's been fantastic all competition. How does he finish?
Here goes Trey Mitchell. 275.
One motion's the first one. One motion's the second.
Up to 365.
And one motion's the third. This is quick. Now, if he doesn't make any mistakes, he needs to get this over fast. He's on for this.
400 is there
so far.
He has time to set the new mark to beat. Mitchell has 420 in the lap.
And he's done it.
25
seconds.
The new time to beat. And the pressure is now on Oleksii Novikov.
Wow, that was a fantastic run there by Trey Mitchell. Unofficial time, 23:78. Puts himself into first. And now, Oleksii Novikov, even with that lead, will be feeling the pressure. He's going to have to finish these stones.
4 men so far have finished the ladder, and Mitchell's got to beat Novikov by 4 spots to leapfrog him in the overall standings. What an incredible run for Trey Mitchell when the pressure was on, and he steps up and delivers. Got right to work on the 420-pound stone, where other men have struggled here. He got it right to his lap and went up and over, and he now has the time to beat at 23.78 seconds. Will the stones cost Oleksii Novikov again?
Last year, Oleksii Novikov was unable to do all 5 stones. If he wants to win this title, he has to do all 5 stones faster than Eyþór Melstead. That's his target. He doesn't need to worry about beating Trey, but he has to do all of the stones faster than the Icelander.
23.78
And he's just doing everything he can, looking at the stones, getting them in place, putting chalk on them. Whatever
this
it
much
takes.
on the line, don't leave anything to chance. And this is mentioned throughout the competition. Great athlete, smart athlete. And it's all on display right now.
I think it's his tacky towel he's actually got there that he's using. Just trying to make sure everything is perfect for his grip. He knows what he needs to do. He's had a tendency to start competitions extremely well and fade towards the end in big competitions.
So far, that has not been the case. As you mentioned, the consistency that he has shown across 5 events, nothing lower than 4th, and he does have an event win in that Sear Bell ladder, but he is going to need a big performance here. Unable to clear the ladder in 2021. Can he do it in 2022? And he's got to beat Athor Melsted's time in order to guarantee himself a Rogue Invitational Championship.
Nothing less than 5 stones will be good enough. Oleksii Novikov looking to add to his title resume. Third place in the Tower of Power deadlift. First place in the Sear dumbbell. Second place in the sandbag carry. Third place in the roller coaster. 4th place in the yoke into the overhead log lift medley. He needs 4th place or higher to become the champion in the stones over the hitching post.
Will it be history repeated or history made for Oleksii Novikov, the last man to go? Final event here at the 2020 Rogue Invitational. He clears all 5 and he does it faster than Athor Melsted. He will win the competition. Novikov is set.
275.
No problem.
As expected, no problem. 300 shouldn't be a problem.
Out of 365. Novikov
good.
moving
This is
well.
moving
Now,
well.
this is as far as he got last year. He was able to clear 400. That stone is to the lap.
And this is much quicker than he did last year.
And he has plenty of time here.
Just needs to focus on this. Doesn't need to worry about the times of the winners. Needs
This
to focus on getting this over.
The championship.
And he does no problem.
Oleksii Novikov has won the 2022 Rogue Invitational.
He's trying to get confirmation, but he is the 2020. You're looking at that. He knows it now. He's done it. The 2022 champion. And what a champion he's been.
And for the first time in his career, he slays the dragon. The first time that Oleksii Novikov has beaten Martins Licis, and he is your 2022 Rogue Invitational champion. And just like last year when Martins Licis needed a huge performance, he delivered. Novikov, history does not repeat itself. History is made. He is your Rogue Invitational champion.
Just an incredible athlete. Achieved so much in such a young career so far. The second youngest athlete competing. He is the champion for 2022.
Looked at those 5 stones and said, not this time.
He wants to go down as one of the greats. And to do that, you have to win all the major shows. And he's getting closer to adding them all to his list. World's Strongest Man 2022, Europe's Strongest Man winner this year, and now the Rogue Invitational champion.
Good job, dude. Good job.
Unable to clear the ladder last year. Lots, as you have said, has had some heartbreak courtesy of the stones, but this time it's different. Championship performance here from Oleksii Novikov.
He knew exactly what he needed to do, and he went out and performed. Look at it. Making sure the hands are in the right place, and then he really done it. Looking at the time, he wanted to know, asking for confirmation from the referee there. And then, as soon as he knew, he could celebrate.
Слава Україні! Слава нації! І пиздец Російській Федерації!
Incredible, incredible scenes.
Trey Mitchell's going to get the event win. Hooper finishes in second. Novikov, that was good enough for third place, and he had plenty of time to spare. He just had to beat Melstead. Maxime Boudreau will finish in fourth as the 5 men who finish the event. More than we saw last year. And here are your unofficial final standings. Oleksii Novikov by 1.5 over Trey Mitchell. Mitch Hooper winds up in third. Martins Licis will take fourth. And Pavlo Nakonechny, he has a bright future. He will take fifth in his Rogue Invitational debut.
Just such an incredible performance from all these athletes. But Oleksii Novikov from Ukraine taking the win. 49.5 points, has not put a foot wrong all weekend. A very deserving champion.
And how about Trey Mitchell, maybe the biggest surprise of this entire competition, in second place.
Really showing he is one of the world elite right now.
And what a way to end Saturday at the Rogue Invitational. As for the second straight year, the last man to go is crowned your champion. Last year was Martins Licis, got his first event win of the competition. This year, Oleksii Novikov, knowing that he hadn't cleared the ladder last year, knowing that he needed a big performance to hang on to the championship, goes out and delivers.
Yeah, truly incredible performances. So many great athletes, so many different winners of different events. Trey Mitchell only winning one event right at the end there. Mitch Hooper taking 2 wins. Licis winning an event. And obviously Oleksii Novikov dominating the Sear dumbbell once again. The standard of strongman is so high right now. But it comes down to consistency. Who drops the least points sometimes is the most important thing. And Oleksii Novikov is this year's champion.
When you talk about the standard of strongman being so high, think about some of the names that aren't here.
Oh, this show is going to get even stronger in 2023. There is some big battles ahead for all these athletes.
Trey Mitchell, Bobby Thompson, and Mitch Hooper, along with Rob Kearney, looking on here. One more look at the unofficial final standings. It's Oleksii Novikov by 1.5 over Trey Mitchell. Mitch Hooper takes third. Martins Licis, the 2021 champion, never got on track in this competition and then had that would look like a pec injury in the final event. He will take fourth, and then Pavlo Nakonechny will take fifth. Let's go down to Kiki Dixon, who is with your 2022 Rogue Invitational champion, Oleksii Novikov.
Congratulations, you are the 2022 Rogue Invitational champion.
Thank you so much.
What does this victory mean to you?
It's very important win for me, very important victory for me, and for all Ukrainian people. It's the last competition in this year, and then I will be rest and a little bit more for win in Ukrainian war. But now in sport area, I win all competition what I want in my career. Thank you so much. I'm very happy. It's very important for me. Thank you. Thank you, Kay.
Oleksii Novikov, your 2022 Rogue Invitational champion. And for the second straight year, the strongman competition does not disappoint. What a blast over these last 2 days.
Oh, it's been fun. Always a pleasure watching these strongman shows with you, Sean, but what incredible performances we've had.
And what incredible implements. We had the Tower of Power, the Rogue Coaster, a repeat event in the yoke log press medley, the Sear Bell, and then we finish off with another exciting performance in the Stone Over Hitching Post. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Congratulations to all the strongmen, and congratulations to the 2022 Rogue Invitational champion, Oleksii Novikov. For Lawrence Chalet, I'm Sean Woodland. Stay here. The Rogue Iron Game is coming up next.